Hey, good morning, guys. You know, I get a lot of questions from new gun owners about their brand new pistol. I get questions like, hey, should I clean this before I shoot it? Or, hey, how do I break this in? Might even get questions about the magazines. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take a brand new pistol, never been fired. We're going to go back in my shop. We're going to take this apart. I'll show you how to lube it correctly, and then I'll show you how to break into magazines. And then we're going to come back out here and put some rounds through this and see how it shoots. You know, when you buy a brand new pistol, there's certain things you should do before you even take it out to the range and shoot it. So again, we're going to cover some of that stuff, and in the meantime, let's go back in my shop, clean this, and then we'll come back out and put some rounds through it. Alright, for this video, I'm going to use a Sky 9mm. This is a brand new pistol, has not been shot, and it has not been cleaned. And my number one piece of advice I can give you guys before you even take off this lock and start to handle this, read the instruction manual. You know, I don't care what kind of handgun you have. It's very important that you do stop and read the manual. I know a lot of people don't do that, but it will just answer so many questions. For instance, can you dry fire your new pistol? So, can you dry fire, say, your new Kel-Tec pistol? And the answer is no. That's what the manual says. Now, Ruger, on the other hand, says you can dry fire their pistols. Okay, another question. Can you use plus P ammo in your firearm? Well, on this Smith & Wesson, it is rated for plus P, says it right there. And most of your manuals will discuss plus P. This one here says, unless you need plus P ammunition, do not use it for practice. And some manuals don't even address plus P, which means you probably should not use plus P if it's not addressed in the manual. Make sure you read your instruction manual, okay? I don't know how many times I'm going to say that in this video, but, you know, there's just so much information on your firearm. I mean, this is going to answer probably just about all of your questions. You're going to have all kinds of warnings that you really need to read. It's going to tell you how to load, how to fire, how to unload, how to uncock, and it's going to tell you how to disassemble your pistol, which is going to be very important. And of course, how to reassemble your pistol. And it's going to talk about cleaning and lubrication. And you know what? Most guys tend to over-lubricate their pistols, which can destroy your gun if you do it improper. Okay, that brings me back to my brand new Sky pistol. And this one does come with two 10-round magazines. So first thing I'm going to do is take out the magazine, make sure it's unloaded. Going to take off this trigger lock here, just like that. Now, your gun may have a different type of trigger lock on it. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check the chamber and make sure it's unloaded. And let's see here. Yes, it is definitely unloaded. Now let's go over a couple parts real quick. This right here is a slide lock, okay? If I pull the slide back and push up on this, it's going to lock back the slide at the same time. Like that, okay? And it also releases the slide. If you have an empty magazine, it's going to, that empty magazine is going to push up on this and automatically lock the slide back. Like that. This is your magazine release. On this pistol, this here's a takedown pin. We'll go over that here in just a second. Of course, you have your rear sight, your front sight, trigger, barrel, guide rod. Okay, so I know my pistol is clear. So next I'm going to field strip it. But before I do that, I want to show you a couple of other examples because there's a good chance your pistol won't disassemble just like this one. Now, of course, you always want to make sure your pistol is clear, but on this pistol here, it has a tab I'm going to pull down, and that's how that one comes apart. Your pistol might have a little lever that you pull down, like so, and release the slide, and that's how this one comes apart. And, of course, your pistol might even be different than these here. Okay, back to my Sky. Now to take this one apart, again, it is unloaded. I'm going to lock the slide back, and I'm going to take out my little pin right here, and I'm going to use the rim of a empty cartridge to do that. Just kind of pop that up and pull that out. Again, your gun will probably be a little different. Now I'm going to release this slide, but I'm going to hang on to it because it is spring loaded, and it's going to come off just like that. Now you can see this has a little bit of factory lube on it. It doesn't have a whole lot. But I will wipe all that off and put on my own lube here in a few minutes. All right, most modern barrels will come out the same way. I'm going to just put a little pressure on this spring right here and gently take it out. Now there's two different ends on this. I got a big end and then there's a small end. Okay, so watch how that comes out so you put it back in the same way. Okay, very simple actually. And then you just take the barrel and she comes right out. Now when I do put this back together, this pin, which is going to go through this hole, also has to go through my barrel. So when I put this back together, I have to make sure everything lines up. Now you'll notice on my slide, it does have a little bit of factory grease in it. It's not a whole lot. So that tells you right there that, you know, you don't want to use a whole lot of, I mean, if the factory's not going to do it, you certainly don't want to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean all that out, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so why am I going to remove the factory lube and put my own lube on? Well, because I've been cleaning my own guns for many, many decades, and that's just what I do. So, you know, I'm going to use either a gun grease or, let's see here, I'm going to use a gun oil. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean off all the factory lube and re-lube it myself. But, you know, and some instruction manuals will tell you to go ahead and clean off all the factory lube and reapply a good grease or oil. If you just bought, say, a Glock pistol, well, the manual says that the slide is going to have some copper-colored lubricant on it, and do not remove it. Just leave it there. So, again, you just need to read the manual and see what it says about cleaning your gun. So, you know what? I'm just going to take a clean shop towel. I'm just going to clean off all this lube everywhere on my new pistol. And get off as much as you can. Let's grab a brush here. So when I get done, this is going to be pretty dry, but that's just the way I like it. Get off all that factory lube. Oh, a little piece of advice. When you have your pistol disassembled, do not pull the trigger, okay? On this one here, if I pull the trigger, the hammer is going to come back, it's going to release, it's going to slam into the aluminum frame, and it could crack that frame. So don't pull the trigger on your pistol when it's disassembled. Okay, on the barrel, make sure you wipe that off, and then make sure you run a clean patch down it. And that's pretty clean, so we're good there. So why do you want to run a clean patch down your barrel? Well, if there's a little bit of grease in here and you fire this, it could actually blow up your pistol. So it's always a good idea to check the barrel on a new pistol. And that one is nice and clean. All right, you know what? Time to lube this up and put it back together. Now, you know, again, you can use gun grease or you can use gun oil. This time I'm going to use a little gun oil, but you see these rails right here? Got them on both sides. They're going to ride inside these grooves right here inside the slide. So you want to make sure you get some lube, and I'm going to just lube both ends here. Get some on the side here. Probably going to be a little more than what the factory had, but I like my guns a little bit wet, especially when they're brand new. And that's good. On the barrel, I'm going to put some right here on the top end and on the bottom, because that's where it locks up. And you want to put a little bit right there on the hood. Okay? And really, that's all it takes. So let's put this back together. Just like that. Lock the slide back. Line up my barrel. Again, like I said, yours is probably going to be completely different, but this is what we have here. I'm going to put the pin in, snaps in place, release the slide, work it. Boy, it is nice and smooth. Wipe off any excess oil. Another thing you want to do is have a slightly oily rag and wipe everything down. And you know what? And Sky says once you put it back together, dry fire it a couple times. And you can see the hammer come back. And seems to be working good. So now, time to break in the magazines. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to break in a magazine. And this is really, really important, especially when it comes to inexpensive firearms. The magazines, sometimes they just are a little gritty and definitely very tight. And now my pistol came with 2 magazines, so I'm going to set one off to the side here. Now these are 10-round magazines. Now, if you're going to have live ammo sitting out, make sure you take your pistol and you take it out of the room, because I don't want to load up this magazine, have my pistol sitting here, and have an accident happen. So when you have live ammo like this in the house, just take the gun out into a different room, okay? So first thing I want to do with this is I want to load it up and get as many rounds as I can in it. This has never been loaded before, so I really doubt if I'm going to get 10 rounds in it. But I will put as many rounds as I can in it. Now, if you do this out on the range for the first time, there's a good chance you're going to have some jams, okay? This is why you want to do this at home. Okay, that's number 8. Number 9. Let's see if we can get number 10 in here. Oh, that is tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to unload it. Now see how it dips down like that? That's not a good sign. It's one reason you want to break these magazines in. Whoa, come over here. All right, so I got it unloaded, so we're going to load that up again. And you want to do this until you can get all 10 rounds in it. And then once you get all 10 rounds in it, unload it and do it another 2 or 3 times. And I'm not going to show you that because that could get kind of boring, but okay, there's number 9. And I'll tell you what, the more you load this, the easier it becomes to actually load it. See, that was quite a bit easier on that 10th round. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unload this again, and I'm going to load it back up. Like I said, I'll do that another 2 or 3 times. And then I'm going to let this sit overnight fully loaded. And I'll do the same thing with this magazine. But that's how you break these in. You can pop this bottom off. You can push in this little pin right here and slide this off and take the guts out, clean it, lube it. But I'm not going to do that unless I have problems with this tomorrow out on the range. And, you know, Sky does say to take a little oil and just oil right in there a little bit. So that should help too. I should have done that with this one, but I'm going to unload this, oil that follower, and load it back up. And in the meantime, guys, I will see you out on the range tomorrow. Okay, we're back out here on the range, ready to put some rounds through this. But before we do that, what about the break-in period on a new pistol? Well, it used to be you'd want to put 200 rounds through a pistol before you would consider it broken in, especially if you're going to carry it for self-defense. 200 rounds, but you know what? Today, with the cost of ammo and with it being hard to find, I know most people just aren't going to put 200 rounds through their pistol. So what I recommend is you put at least one box of Full Metal Jacket through your pistol. If you don't have any problems, well, then it's up to you if you want to start carrying it for self-defense. But put that one box through it. If you have any problems, put a second box through it, okay? Again, especially if you're going to carry that for self-defense. Okay, let's talk about hollow point ammo real quick. What you don't want to do is break this in with Full Metal Jacket and then you buy a box of hollow point ammo, you put it in here and you start carrying it. You need to make sure that hollow point ammo is going to cycle through your pistol, okay? So you buy one box. Put that whole box through your pistol. If it cycles okay, then buy a second box, load up your magazine, and you should be good to go, okay? One thing you don't want to do is buy 3 or 4 or 5 boxes of hollow point ammo and then find out it won't cycle in your pistol. So just buy one box, make sure it works, and then go from there, okay? So let's set up some targets and see if my new pistol is going to shoot okay. Okay, again, brand new pistol, never been fired. I've done some maintenance on it. Let's see what happens. 10 rounds, Full Metal Jacket. All right, so far so good. I'm gonna load this up again, let my son shoot it. Okay, son, you ready?
Yep.
Put 10 rounds through that puppy.
All right.
Hey, you know what? So far it's shooting good. I mean, it's only 20 rounds, but that's a good sign. We're going to put some more rounds through this. But 2 things real quick. I am wearing earplugs. And 2, you might want to mark your magazines just in case you start having any feeding problems. You can tell what magazine is involved in that. But other than that, let's just set up some targets and have a little fun with this.
Ah,
Yeah, good shooting with that.
dropped one. Yeah, not bad. Let's try that again a little bit further back.
Hello.
Yeah.
All right, let's try 10 more rounds. Yeah, you know what? I really do like these little Sky pistols. Ah! 3 out of 5. You know what? I got 5 rounds left. What the heck? I gotta be honest, this does really have a crappy trigger on it. You have to come all the way back and you have to come all the way forward off of that trigger to reset it. So the biggest complaint on the Sky pistol is the trigger. If you watch a lot of my videos, you know I should have been able to hit that, but good gun, but you definitely want to be up close when you use it. Hey guys, you know, my son and I, we put 100 rounds through this today, not one single problem. So as far as I'm concerned, it's broken in, at least with Full Metal Jacket. So maybe in the future I'll do a video. Hey, you know, my son and I, we put 100 rounds through this today. Not one single problem. So as far as I'm concerned, it's broken in. Now, I'm not going to do it today, but in the future I'll put some hollow points through it. But you know what? This is a good little pistol. It's actually the third one I've owned, and they've all shot very, very well. Anyways, if you have a new pistol, take it apart, clean it, break in those magazines before you even get out to the range. Anyways, thanks for watching my video. And we'll see you guys next time.